Some stories begin with a whisper from the other side, and that's certainly true for psychic medium and my friend Travis Holp. Travis is out with a new memoir that blends humor, heart, and healing through personal stories and spiritual insights from his journey with the spirit world. And Travis is here now. Welcome back to the show, and congratulations on this book.
Oh, thank you, friend. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have you, and you have just blown up. But what made right now the right opportunity to put this book out?
I've had so many client experiences over the past 5 years. This is actually like the 5-year anniversary this week of me doing this work professionally and out in the open. And there are just so many great client stories that I wanted to share with the world. Just that proof that love continues on even after we leave a physical body, plus my own journey as well. And so it just felt like, the stars aligned, so to speak.
Definitely. And I want to talk about your personal journey because the book really explores some deeply personal things in your life, including your coming out experience that you've also said is kind of similar and has some parallels to when you started, actually becoming a medium. So explain.
So for me, this has been a journey of authenticity my entire life. And I think all of us to some degree or another come out of the closet. I came out of the gay closet. Then 5 years ago, I came out of the broom closet, and so for me, it's just that journey of authenticity and showing up in the world exactly the way that I'm supposed to. And that's what the book dives into as well, is how to live that life that feels more authentic to us.
Beautiful. And there was a conversation, I understand, with a youth pastor that really stuck with you. What happened in that moment that shaped your spiritual path?
My mom had a tough time with me coming out as a gay man. And so when I was younger, she took me to a youth pastor. And the youth pastor equated our souls as eternal, which I knew at the age of 14. I was like, I know this to be true for myself. And he equated eternity as like a never-ending cable. And our human life here, our finite time in this human body, is like a razor-thin slice on that cable. And how we fill that slice matters. And we get a choice in how we fill that slice. And I know what he was trying to do in that moment, but what I heard was, my soul, my energy is infinite, but my human life here is finite. And what am I gonna do with that time?
Gosh, and look at what you've done.
It's so exciting.
You've described your work as a medium like a radio transmitter. You've said to me a few times, and I love this. And we all have the ability to tune in to those frequencies.
Yes.
How does this book help people begin to access that and really tap in?
This book shares stories about that continuation of life and that love does not end. There's this conversation around there being like a veil between us and the spirit world. There is no veil. Our loved ones are always there. That energy is always available to us. The veil is just the doubts and the fears that we have as humans that we can't connect or that we're separate. But we're not separate. And this book is filled with stories that show that eternal connection.
Do you have a favorite story that you can share?
Oh my gosh, I do. There's so many stories about synchronicity that's woven in throughout the book. One of my favorite stories was the first time I did a reading for somebody who lost a child. And when I started this work and I started as a medium, a lot of it was like, oh yeah, here's your love life and here's what you need to do with your career. But when I had that reading with her and the presence of spirit and the evidence of the continuation of life helped her heal and helped her work through her grief, I was like, oh, this work is important. And that connection that we inherently have is important, whatever you want to call that connection. And so I think that's one of my favorites. It's a very moving and touching story, and I just really hope people like it.
Oh my gosh. And when you walk around, are you having to kind of say, okay, spirits, like, let's settle down, be quiet? Like, how does your everyday life, and I guess when you began this, did you just kind of pump up the volume then?
It's like a radio, like I can turn it down. I can never completely turn it off, but I turn it down. I'm not going to be in the middle of the grocery store like, hey, I got your departed
Pam.
wife over here. Yeah.
I need to talk to you.
She hates the wallpaper you chose. I don't operate like that because that'll drain your energy. But I do, like when it's time to connect, I just open myself up and I receive and share what comes through. I do that in my one-on-one sessions and then also in live shows, but then there's stories about that in the book as well.
Gosh, your book is going to be an amazing read for people. You've done, a reading for me, and I was shocked because I went in, I guess, a little of a skeptic,
Sure.
and then I left just like, there's no way you could know the things that you told me and said, and it brought me so much comfort. So, I adore you. And after everything you've experienced too as a medium, what do you know to be true?
I know that we are loved beyond measure. I think sometimes this world can convince us otherwise, or that we can feel so alone and separate. We are living in times where we're the most connected than we've ever been, but we're also the loneliest we've ever been. And I know that there's a light within each and every one of us, and not only do we have access to that light, we have access to the light of the unseen world and our loved ones that are not in physical bodies.
And when people pick up your book, what do you want the takeaway to be?
That just being who you are is the most precious thing in this life. Each and every one of us is unique and special in our own way, and to be who you are is a gift.
And you're doing a signing at Elliott Bay Book Company, and I actually get to join you. I'm very excited for this. So what can folks expect? Give me a little preview.
So we will chat about the book, which is always so exciting, but I'll also be doing some readings as well, which is going to be so fun, connecting with people's departed loved ones in the audience at random. And then I'll sign some books, and we'll have a great time. It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. I love Elliott Bay Bookstore so much, so it's just such an honor to be able to be there.
How has the feedback been so far? Because I know you're out, you're on your book tour, you're always out and about doing live shows. So how's it been?
You know what? I really love that it's resonating with people, even people that aren't necessarily a part of the gay community or even mediums, finding themselves in some of these stories or even in my story. And I think that's a really powerful thing when we can feel seen, when we're reading something or listening to a piece of music or seeing art. And that's all I ever want, is just for people to feel seen, validated, and loved. And so it's been an honor to hear that feedback from people.
Yeah, and what would you say to skeptics or someone that isn't sure and doesn't know a lot about what you do?
I would just say be open. The thing is, I think we're all kind of skeptical in our own ways, and I think that's, to a degree, that's great. I think if you're open to it, though, this can be a really profound experience. And if it doesn't resonate for you, that's okay too. There's other things out there, right?
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. You always resonate with me. I appreciate it, and I cannot wait for that book signing event. And once again, Travis Holp's Are You There, Spirit? The book tour is making a stop at Elliott Bay Book Company on Friday, November 21st. Come get your book signed and join the conversation with Travis and yours truly. I cannot wait.